Hey guys, Cam315 back out with another video for you guys, back with another episode review of Witch Hat Atelier, which was another great episode today. Another great moment with Coco. It's just good, man. I really am liking this show. And I definitely can't wait to see what we got going on. So let's get into the episode review. So essentially, we obviously know that that the witch teacher, I'll get his name by next week, right? He has to go away because he has to go to like this city area and everything. It's more stuff to try to get Coco to be approved to be a wizard, right? Now he goes to like this underwater, like I think honestly like a temple or something. It looks like an underwater temple. And essentially he runs into another witch girl. And this witch girl basically is asking him like, why don't she's saying like, oh, I heard that you got a new apprentice. And basically we have it to where he's like, oh, no, she's not my apprentice or anything yet. She hasn't trained to do anything. So I'm really in the process of getting her to try to be one, but she still has a lot to learn before she becomes an actual witch apprentice, right? So they go to this underground city, and he's just getting the items he needs and the approval he needs to make her obviously a witch apprentice. Now in the meantime, you have it to where Coco basically is sent on a mission from one of the other girls, the purple hair girl. Again, I'll have these characters names ready to go by next week. And basically, again, we kind of see it to how the purple hair girl doesn't feel like Coco is good enough to be a wizard, because to her, she's an outsider that the master brought in and is just trying to be an apprentice. And she probably feels like, no, we've been working our asses off since we were kids, and this person comes in, master brings this person in and thinking like this person can do magic. Oh, hell no. We're not about that. So she basically makes Coco do the test, and Coco has to go into this forest and go find this flower, right? Or like this training ground, just to do the test. The test, which we find out is that witches take, to prove themselves to be witches, and if they actually fail, well, they're actually shunned from their said witch atelier or guild, I guess you can say. And they make it sound like it's very much hard for them to challenge or do the test again and actually become a witch. Basically, that's kind of the whole thing. Now, I don't know why she did this. Well, outside of the reasons, I'm just mentioning about, like, she just doesn't, it's clear, like, she's so far not liking Coco and feels like this girl's a joke. Why is this girl even getting the opportunity to be a witch when I've been here for years, since I was way younger than her, and I've actually worked my ass off to do it, right? So she's making her do this test without the master's approval, right? So I don't know why. Now, obviously, Coco's like, well, hey, look, is it okay if you lend your shoes to me? Because, I got a fly I would take. And obviously she reluctantly gives up her shoes with the flying insignia on them. So there's that, right? Then you have Coco just going through this jungle trying to find things, right? At the same time also trying to learn how to fly, which she is obviously clearly struggling to do. But it led to some funny content, right? Now, all the other girls end up showing up because they're in the atelier, right? The other girls end up showing up. They ask the purple hair girl like, hey, I'm ready to eat, I'm hungry, let's, we made dinner, let's eat. Also, where's Coco? And the girl is like, oh, Coco, she's taking the test. And they're like, wait, what? And that's when she ended up getting to her spiel about Coco potentially becoming a wizard and everything and stuff like that, right? So you have that whole thing, right? And they explain that, but basically, it's funny because they didn't really eat this episode, which it left off on the end of the episode where Coco's stomach starts grumbling, and it's like, okay, now we gotta go. Now we can go eat, right? But in the meantime, Coco was struggling to, fly up and get to one of, and you just have it. It really looked like it was like freaking Super Mario Galaxy type of worlds, like the mini moons that you would fly onto and run around. And she's trying to fly around and try to get to them. She gets to like one of the vines and she's holding on to one of the vines before she falls, right? Because honestly, like she's flying like she's actually flying in the air. So like she fucks up. Like she legitimately could die, but she grabs on this vine and you have it to where you have this like caterpillar looking thing. I forgot what she called in the episode, but it seems like it's gonna be like her familiar or her companion, her little mini animal companion that will definitely be like a toy thing that they'll make in Japan and everything. Whether it's like a plushie or something like that. I clearly saw what they're doing, right? But she ends up falling into the river area, right? And because she falls in the river, she's soaking wet. And of course, when she is dumping out the shoes and she looks at the soles of the shoes, basically the magic circle on the shoes that would help her fly is basically gone. So she tried to maybe look to try to redraw it, but all her gear is all wet and it's all ruined. So there's that. So she basically gets a boat and she tries to jump up to the vines and everything, but she really can't do anything, right? So she falls asleep and she takes basically like a night sleep nap or something like this, and she's just dreaming of the moments with her mom and everything, and just the training she went through with her mom on how to perfectly craft like the cloths that they were doing and drawing like everything and cutting them in a precise motion, which actually gets her to wake up. And she's like, you know what, I'm trying to do magic, this certain type of way or the typical way, right? And also too, she even almost thinks about actually drawing on her actual feet. But as we all know, drawing magic on your actual body outside of doing the erasing memories, that's basically illegal in this world, right? So she's like, no, I can't do this, and I can't break any more rules because I already broke a rule by doing the dark magic, right? Bless me, Jesus, sorry. So anyways, she recalls that moment and everything. So, and basically a way of her mom inspiring her, and this is the whole purpose of why she's doing what she's doing, is to save her mom. She basically, makes the cloth and she basically draws the air circle, right? And obviously she finishes it and it's like, okay, boom, right? So now the ship's moving and it's kind of got like a sail, right? And it's moving, but it's still moving a little bit too reckless, right? And what is it? And essentially, what is it? But the sail breaks apart, right? The sail breaks apart, and she's literally holding on to this thing. Also, too, the caterpillar thing's holding on to her as well, right? And she's literally flying through the air and everything, and I'm like, oh, she's flying super, super high, and it's like out of control. But she ends up getting control of the thing, and it's fun and crazy enough, right? It's as if she's like flying a broom, because the whole gag with witches is, are the typical gag with witches is they fly in a broom and everything, right? So you got that moment, and that was pretty cool. But she ends up actually taking control, and you kind of got this really badass moment, and she ends up actually flying through the air, and she's like, oh shit, I'm actually flying. And and again, it looks visually stunning, right? Visually stunning, really great animation here. And then she ends up finding the little mini rock, moon planet thing, right? With basically with the flowers that she needed, right? And she has it where it's time and time again she's failing to get the flowers, but again with the determination she has, and then again she was also thinking about her mom too and her whole goal, she ends up grabbing the flowers, right? Now essentially the master, we cut back to the atelier, the master comes back, and you know, they're always like, wait, where the hell's Coco? And he's like, where's Coco? And obviously they're like, oh, she's taking the test. And he's like, what? She's taking the test. Who the hell did that? And that's the whole thing, right? But he's worried because it's like she went somewhere dangerous. She could literally die if she's, you know, now that she's out there. And as like he was opening the gate to to go there, right? Coco's right there with the flowers, and they're like, oh. So Coco had the flowers. She got back safe and sound. Obviously, the master was like, obviously upset, saying like, no, you weren't supposed to do that, and things like that. I'm like, promise me you're not going to do something like that again, right? And obviously, Coco makes that promise. But she also tells the purple hair girl like, hey, I got what you wanted. So there's that, right? But he walks away, right? Just, I guess, kind of being proven wrong against being like, oh shit, yeah, see, she does have what it takes. And basically, the master gives her her witch gear, and he's like, listen, and he basically tells her like, you know, the moment you have this gear, the moment you put on this hat and everything, you're now officially a witch. So you got to be able to, you know, respect that and hold up the title with the utmost honor and prestige, that you will use magic for good and you won't use magic for bad, right? And things like that, right? So that was a pretty cool moment. And then basically the episode kind of ends off with this guy. I'm guessing he must have observed Coco do what she did. And apparently this guy thought it was impressive and that she's talented. So it was a pretty cool episode. It is gonna be interesting to see if Coco has her own methods of her own magic when it comes to drawing things and doing her own unique, you know, magic type of things. At the same time, yes, getting the teaching from the master wizard, right, that she's learning under, but at the same time implementing the things that she's learned from being with her mom and stuff like that, to then turning that into magic and using that to help her witch abilities. But it was pretty cool. And then too, also now she has like a nice little animal companion too, so that's dope. But another great episode of Witch Hat Atelier. So yeah, but anyways, if you guys like the video, leave a like, put in the comment section your thoughts, hit the subscribe button if you want to get more Witch Hat Atelier content or any other anime content I upload to the channel and things like that. But till then, guys, stay safe out there. Have a great rest of your day or your night, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Till then, guys, peace.